Namaste and welcome to PSM Speak. Thank you very much for clicking. Please watch till the end this important video. Important not only because it pertains to the pension of the government employees. No, the video focuses on the social security as a whole, in particular of the senior citizens. Please do subscribe to this channel if you have not done already. The government employees are on agitation. We have seen in one state, Andhra Pradesh, the employees demanding the scrapping of the new pension scheme and restoring the old pension scheme, asking their Chief Minister, Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy, to keep his electoral promise to restore them the old pension scheme. What is this new pension scheme? Is it very new, freshly baked? No, the pension scheme is not very new. This came into effect on April 1, 2004, All Fools' Day of that year. And it was announced roughly 2 decades back in December 2003. And first it is the central government that implemented this scheme. Later, all the state governments adapted this, excepting West Bengal, of course. Because it was voluntary to the state government, they did not take it up immediately, but yet all of them have taken up. But when the new pension scheme implemented effective from 2004 April, why the agitation now? Yes, protests were there at that time also, but they were not that vocal. Now they have become very tangible, vehement. The reason for the clamor is now the employees started feeling the impact of the policy. Yes, unfortunately in this country, whenever any policy changes that affect the people is taken up, we don't see that big protests. Why take the example of petrol prices, petrol and diesel. These days we see because the price increase is so high that it is affecting the people, then they are protesting. But a facilitating policy was made 2 decades back. The government used to have a method of moderating the petrol prices whenever they sold in the international markets. It had a system called administered price mechanism. But in 2002-03, it dismantled the administered price mechanism when people protested, but not so loudly as we see today. So also the employees, when government announced this, it carefully made it applicable to those people recruited after January 1, 2004. So those who were in the government service that time were not directly affected by this. The employees recruited in future were affected. Although there were some who were just recruited, their concern was only their salaries and allowances that time, not what is going to happen to them in future after 3 decades of service. Now the day has come. They started feeling the effect. But what is this new pension scheme? What is this old pension scheme? Before going into detail, let us look at the pension environment in the country. Different pensions available to different classes of people in this country. Yes, the agitation is going on not only in Andhra Pradesh, it is in Tamil Nadu. Already the governments of Jharkhand, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh reverted to the old pension scheme, and Delhi and Punjab governments have accepted to follow suit. Then what are the pension schemes that are available? The MLAs in this country get pension, full pension for 1 term of serving 5 years. Why 5 years? In Madhya Pradesh, lifetime pension is available to the MLAs if they worked even for 1 day. Different states have different quantums of pension. This much for 1 term and this for more number of terms. In Haryana, a 7 times MLA is drawing 2.38 lakh monthly pension. Telangana MLA gets 50,000 rupees, 1 time MLA, and if an MLA serves for 3 terms, he or she gets 75,000 rupees. In Andhra Pradesh, it is 30,000 rupees. In Tamil Nadu, 40,000 rupees. So are the sums vary across the nation. Our members of parliament also do get pension. This is about legislator. While the government employees under old pension scheme, to which we will come to a little later, get roughly 50% of their last drawn salary. There is method of calculating this. They take aggregate of some 12 months, and roughly it is 50% of what they got towards the end of their career as pension. And those who are not the government employees are those government sectors where the pension scheme is not available. Those who are coming under the Employees Provident Fund scheme, what do they get? Most of them get less than 1,000. It's because 83% of the EPF pensioners were getting amounts less than 1,000 and 27% were getting less than 500 rupees a month. The government recently made the Employees Provident Fund pension not to be less than 1,000 rupees. So EPF pension minimum is 1,000 rupees. But a large number of people who had run a lakh rupees a month or more are getting 1,500 rupees a month. So they are falling below poverty line after retirement. Why this is happening? The scheme which came into force from 1995 worked out in such a way that the pensionable or insurable salary should be 6,500 rupees, which means if somebody worked for full 35 years, would get half of that 6,500 rupees. Those who have fewer number of years after 1995 with some formulae get 1,500 to 2,500 rupees or so, or a little more or less. That's what they get. Now of course that 6,500 limit is enhanced to 15,000 rupees. Whatever the salary, the insurable salary is 15,000 now, which means after 35 years of service, if one contributes for the Employees Provident Fund pension scheme, so members coming under that get that small pension. Again is this, the destitute pension, the pension to the poor below poverty line. The governments are giving some pension. How much is this? The Telangana government gives 2,000 rupees a month. Andhra Pradesh government gives 2,500 rupees. Recently it has announced its enhancement to 2,750 rupees from January 2023. Similarly, Delhi and Haryana governments give 2,500 rupees as pension to the poor below poverty line. Doesn't it look anomalous? They should get that. They should get more for their survival. 2,500 is really paltry sum, all right, we agree. But the industrial workers who contributed for the nation building, monies were also subscribed to the fund on their behalf. Indirectly, they have contributed to the fund. They get 1,500 rupees. How are they supposed to survive with that 500 and now 1,000 rupees minimum? And 1,500 or 2,500 rupees, whatever the salary they had drawn when they were in active service. Then what is the new pension scheme? Old pension scheme of the government, as we all know, employees do not need to contribute any sum towards pension fund. New pension scheme, they need to contribute. The contribution is defined, whereas under the old pension scheme, the benefit is defined. They would get at the end of their service half of what they have drawn, I mean after full pensionable service. Under new pension scheme, the contribution is defined, benefit is not defined. Employees are required to pay 10% of their salary and their dress allowance. Originally government used to contribute matching amount of 10%. That has been enhanced to 14%. These sums are invested at the retirement, the corpus, the accumulated contributions and the earnings and the investments, they are drawn, and part of it is allowed to be withdrawn by the employees, and with the remaining amount, fixed annuities are purchased on behalf of the employees. That means what they are going to get towards the end of their career is determined by the market forces. It's not certain. So employees are justifiably aggrieved and they want their old pension scheme restored. This is not an unjust demand. The ILO, in its Social Security Convention 1 or 2, held way back in 1952, suggested that the pension should be equal to 50% of the salary. Of course, it used a term insurable salary, but the idea is 50%. That we should understand. So employees are criticized, particularly the government employees. How many are the government employees? In total employment in the country, only 7% are in the organized sector. Still fewer numbers. In terms of percentage, only 4% of the workforce are in the government. In absolute terms, 34,65,000 employees are in the central government. And in the state governments, all the state governments put together, there are 1,06 lakh employees. So the critics say, to only the government employees, how can you ask this when people are not able to get 2 square meals a day? But who are the people that are preaching these sermons? Are they entrepreneurs who do not want to reduce their profit and who are responsible for the plight of the people who are getting less than what they are due? And the idea is also ridiculous. If there is an anomaly in the society, in a welfare state, the government is expected to be an ideal employer, ideal to the private sector, to provide decent wages, allowances and retirement benefits. Instead of making the other sector follow it, government seeking to reduce for whatever the reason. The reason is the pundits, the actuarial experts and others said it is not sustainable, that government is heavily burdened due to the pension payment. And when this new pension scheme was taken up, the suggestion was that the governments require to pay 65,000 crore. They were paying so much rupees, 65,000 crore rupees towards the pension of state and central government employees put together, and it was anticipated that it would grow by 20% every year. So it is not sustainable. But the responsibility of the government to ensure the decent life of the people after working for so many years cannot be forgotten. The number of people above 60 years has been increasing. We should understand that. And they shouldn't become burden to the youth who are also not getting employment. The 60 plus population, as per 1951 census, 5.5% of the total population. By 2011, it has reached to 8.6%, and in absolute numbers, 2021, 138 million. That is 30 crore 80 lakh people are of the ages above 60. 2011, it was 104 million, and now it is 138. See how it is increasing. And it is estimated that India is home to the 12.5% of the world's 60 plus population. The UN Population Fund estimated that 173 million in India, above 60 population in 2026. And our own NSO's estimate is 194 million by 2031. And dependency ratio has been increasing. It was 14.2% in 2011 and now it is 20%. Not now, by 2031. So it is the responsibility of the government to take care of the senior citizens, raise the assistance to them, not to reduce to those few central government and state government employees, whatever that they had been getting for years. Hope our governments will rethink. And one thing they should understand, after several states having accepted to revert to the old pension scheme, that new pension scheme is not going to be sustainable. Whatever the pundits estimates of unsustainability, financial unsustainability of reverting to the old pension scheme. Thank you for watching. Once again, I request you, please subscribe to this channel if you have not done it already. Please click on that subscribe button below this video, and after that, please don't forget to click on the bell icon to get the notifications as and when I upload a new video like this to this channel. Thank you.